have with us today doesn't really need an introduction. It's yellow, it's convertible, and it's got a V10 engine.
But hang on, there's also another car that you can get, also in yellow, also similar proportions, also has a V10, and kind of from the same family that this.
You're talking about the Lamborghini Huracan
That's
Spyder.
the one.
Yes. And that's the question we're asking ourselves today. Is that why is it that this car is 2.9 million rand, and for that car, you're going to spend much more, if not double. So we need to ask ourselves, how much?
5.9.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So we need to ask ourselves, is this actually the most affordable supercar that's out there? There's only one way to find out.
I'm just going to go over this hump and listen to we're not going to say anything. We're just going to... Oh my goodness.
That's so good. That's 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds, eh? 3.6 seconds.
I'm sorry, you know, we spoke about the pricing. And why would you get something else?
Yeah, you know, for me, the thing is, to make matters worse, this is a normal R8. Normal. Because this is the normal use. Look at the plus.
You get a plus.
The one I drove, the hardtop, was a plus. It's 445 kilowatts.
The one I drove. Thanks, Cisco. You were one of the first few to drive it on the left. It was a left-hand drive car.
And I drove it on It was a track. But that's another thing, is that I drove that car on the track. I've never driven it on the road. And right now, this car's on dynamic mode because you've got different modes. You've got comfort, dynamic, and you've got like a performance mode when you press that checkered flag.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm interrupting your speech.
Yeah, like I was saying, like you're in dynamic mode, which should be one of the hardest settings.
Yes.
But quite frankly, if somebody said that you're sitting in a TT, I wouldn't dispute that.
Yes. I'm trying to listen to you. I really am.
It sounds crazy. I'm getting jealous now. I need to drive at some point.
No, true.
Yeah.
Listen, you drove this car the whole morning.
Yeah. But listen to that. But it's a cruiser. It's almost got that cruiser feel to it. You can cruise.
You can.
It's a bit snug. It is snug.
The thing is that I'm just over 6 foot.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tight for me, and I've got this weird body where my legs are longer than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling a bit.
Yeah.
So the drive to Cape Town would be. I would still do it.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong.
Put so much mileage on your car.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's about enjoyment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Who cares about everyone will talk, don't do mileage. It's about enjoyment of the car.
Yeah.
And this is one of those cars that puts a smile on your face every single time.
Yeah.
How did we even listen to the radio here?
No.
We listened to 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah. And I mean, it's spec'd out. It's got Bang & Olufsen sound system.
The sound system here is
It's
banging.
got the stitching that matches it's got yellow stitching. It matches like the car.
I'm all about the
that.
detail. I'm all about that will never ever get old.
Yeah. Call me crazy. I could daily this car.
I wouldn't, because my proportions are such that it wouldn't be practical for me to do so.
Yeah.
I just don't have the body to daily this car.
You see, and that's why
this car.
in life it pays to be average size.
No, it doesn't.
Average size?
No, it doesn't.
You can be a Formula 1 driver. Where have you seen a tall Formula 1 driver?
First of all, are you a Formula 1 driver?
I'm not, but I'm in a V10 that was Formula 1 style.
Cisco, are you
Back in the day,
are you a
back in
Formula
the
1
day.
driver right now?
No, I'm not.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You got
But
no
still,
leg to
I
stack
can
on.
fit in this R8 better than you can.
Are we in the car?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No.
Let's end the discussion.
Which basically means if you buy a Huracan, you're buying it for control.
Now let's explain this term that Cisco just mentioned, control. Control is an African term that people use in order to show off, basically.
Yeah.
You rock up.
If you do something for control,
Yeah.
it's just to do it. It's to say I spent 3 million
Yes.
rand more than you,
Yes.
Mr. R8.
Yes. But it's those 25,000 rand shoes that you wear at night that look very similar to your Edgar shoes, but because they're a branded shoe, they're 25 grand, you bought them for control.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
So a Hurricane would be control.
control car.
A control car.
This is, honestly speaking, it sounds crazy for me to say, this is the most affordable supercar.
Yes.
For 3.5 million rand, dude. This car, like I said, this is 3.5 million rand with spec. 3.5
Yes.
2.9
No,
million.
yeah, 100% right.
2.9. I mean, yes, you can argue it and say for that kind of price range, you'll get yourself a 911 turbo Porsche. But
That is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
But it's not the same. It's not the same because it's a different experience. A Porsche it's almost a sports car, and this is still
Yes.
a supercar.
Yes.
Engine's at the back, you know.
So is a Porsche.
So is a Porsche.
So is a
Come to
Porsche.
think about it. But I don't know. A Porsche is more sports car. This is more supercar.
Yes, and do you know what the thing is? It's. I think as an everyday car, I think I'd buy a Porsche because it would suit my sort of torso, how that sort of thing. It'll be a much more comfortable car for me, but there's no way that I'd scoff at this car because this car's perfect.
This engine. No, honestly, I'm struggling to find stuff to fault. I'm struggling to.
I can find one small thing to fault, and it's a small bugbear of mine.
Right.
That the screen should be like, as a passenger, I don't feel involved. I kind of have to look into the driver's territory
because the virtual cockpit literally runs everything.
Yes. Whereas with the other Audis and everything's here, and you can kind of engage with your passenger. That's the only thing that I can fault.
But overall, man,
go buy one. Go buy one. So you spent the whole day driving this car.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I still can't justify why I would spend an extra $3 on these cars.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking. And I mean, you can't compare. I mean, yes, people say you can't compare this and the Lambo, but at the end of the day, these are the only two cars in this segment that are left with a normally aspirated engine, and they've got identical engines, identical gearboxes.
They're identical.
It's the same car.
It's identical. And the thing, personally, I like the whole Iron Man thing.
Yeah.
This is Iron Man's car.
And before, the Lambo would be the car you buy because you want to make a statement. And there's nothing to dog the brand, but the thing is, this car's come such a long way in terms of making a statement. This says you've arrived.
You saw the way people high-fiving, people waving, rolling the window. Let me hear the car. And the noise.
Exactly. It's fantastic.
The noise out of this car. It's intoxicating. It's one of the last V10s that are left.
Exactly.
It's.
If I had to part with my money,
3.9 million rand now.
2.9 million rand. Yeah.
It's
With
even-
spec, this is 3.5 bar, and it's got 600,000 rand worth of options. Honestly speaking, this is the best bargain supercar you can get. I'll put my head out there and say that. If you guys disagree or agree, comment below.
Imagine Granddad what he would say. He's spending 3.9 and we're saying it's a bargain.
You'd say we're out of our minds.
Yeah.